Today on the Ask BP podcast, we're talking about what made me finally stop reading and dreaming and start taking action. Stay tuned to hear my answer.
You're listening to another BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast, where you'll hear short, direct answers to your biggest real estate questions. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forums by using hashtag AskBP. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing and other great content when you sign up for your free account at BiggerPockets.com. With that, let's get to the show.
Hey everyone, my name is Brandon and you are watching the Ask BP podcast here on the BiggerPockets social network. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today is a very important day because we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is taking action. You see, so many people try to become a real estate entrepreneur and so many people fail. I mean, I don't know what the percentages are, but it's probably pretty high of people who want to get into real estate but never actually do. So how do you become the kind of person who does and doesn't just think about? So the actual question today comes from Brian from Virginia, and Brian asks, "Hey Brandon, how did you stop reading and learning and start taking action?" Well, Brian, let me try to explain kind of how my story went. So I started the same way a lot of people do, and that is I started by watching the flipping shows. And so I'd actually sit down, I had an overnight job, and I'd watch 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes, and I got really excited about real estate. From there, I started reading a little bit more about it. I found Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that, and it changed my life. And then from there, I decided that I wanted to get into rental properties because that would produce passive income over the long run. So again, I was excited, I was learning, but I wasn't yet taking action. What kind of triggered it for me, I think, was a couple things. One, I had found BiggerPockets at that time. I found the site. It was very young in its infancy, and I stumbled across this community where thousands of people were learning and talking about real estate and sharing ideas. And I mean, it was really an exciting thing because I had read about it, but I'd never known people who were actually doing it. And so it just changed my whole outlook on how I could do it. I realized that there were actually ways of investing in real estate, and I got really excited about it. And so that kind of set me off, and I bought my first duplex right after that. Then I bought a house to flip, and as I continued to kind of learn as I went, I just kept doing more and more and more. And so the answer to your question, how did I do it? I did it by connecting with other people who were doing it. There's that famous quote that says you are the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. And it really was true for me. When I started associating with people who were in real estate, it just became natural that I would also learn and I would also grow and I would become a better real estate investor. And so if you're struggling with the idea of taking action, getting out there, I want to encourage you to do that. Also, let me tell you a quick story. I've said this analogy before, maybe you've heard it, but I really like it a lot. Imagine you're driving down the road late one night, say spring morning or spring evening or middle of the night, whatever, and there's a heavy fog. In my area of Western Washington, very, very common. So there's a fog all over the road. You can't see more than 100 feet in front of your car. You just can't. You can only see about 100 feet. There could be a deer up there. There could be anything up there. You don't know what's up ahead, but you can see 100 feet. But the cool thing is when you get that 100 feet, you can always see 100 feet more. And when you get that 100 feet, you can always see a little more. And so fog works kind of the same way, whether it's in reality fog or whether it's like the fog of unsure, like how to get started with real estate or how to take the next step, how to take action. If you just take a step forward, you can see a step further. And then take another step and you can see a step further. And that goes on forever. As long as you keep moving, you will always be able to keep seeing further and further. So if you're a person that you're struggling to stop dreaming and reading and you want to go take action, just consider that if you just take a step, you'll hopefully be able to see the next step and the next. And then connect with people who can help you see that, who can expand your visibility so you can see further through the fog. So hopefully that helps you out there, Brian, on the idea of taking action and not just reading and dreaming. I know that, again, has been very, very true in my life. Hopefully that helps you out in yours. Before we get out of here, I want to talk about today's success quote. And today's quote comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. And Eleanor Roosevelt said this: "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people." So what kind of things are you discussing with your circle of friends? Who are you hanging out with? What are you guys talking about? Kind of relates back to this idea of taking action. If you're hanging around people and all you do is talk about other people and sit there and gossip, or like that's about as far as you're going to ever make it in life. But if you surround yourself with people who are talking about ideas and their passions and their, where they want to go in life, those are the great people that you want to associate with, because they'll take you right along with them on their journey to greatness. So with that, let's get out of here. Thank you so much for being a part of the BiggerPockets community. A couple quick things. If I could get you to give me a thumbs up on this video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on iTunes, make sure you leave me a rating and or review. And if you are not yet a BiggerPockets member, I want to just invite you to join. It's a free membership. Come be part of our social network with 300,000 plus members who are all helping each other become better, more successful real estate investors. And with that, let's get out of here. Remember, in pursuit of your goals, don't just learn, but take action. For the Ask BP podcast, I'm Brandon, signing off.
You've just heard another episode of the BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forum by using hashtag AskBP. And for more incredible real estate investing tools and education, including a free download of our book, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, head over to BiggerPockets.com and sign up for your free account today. We'll see you on the next show.